Hey, Oncers, it's that time again. It's time for another Once Upon a Time review. If you haven't seen this week's episode, which was the season finale, go back and watch it on watchabc.com and then hit up this video afterwards because there's going to be spoilers. Now, this was the 2-hour season finale, so it was pretty much two episodes squished together. But I'm just going to review it as though it was just one full episode. We start with the curse has finally hit. The Black Fairy's curse, and Henry awakens and he's awake. He knows the truth, and he discovers that Emma has actually been chilling in a mental hospital for what she thinks is 2 years. She's painting pictures of swans, harking back to her last name. We find out the Black Fairy is in the mayor role that Regina had in the first season. And she's pretending that Henry is her son until she realizes Henry's awake, and she ends up pushing him down the stairs when he tries to steal back the storybook. He's trying everything he can to get Emma to remember that she's the savior, that, it's just kind of a hot mess. And then you find out Gold and Gideon are working together at the pawn shop, but Belle is nowhere to be seen. She supposedly left when shortly after Gideon was born. Gold's trying to find out what really happened, and the Black Fairy shows him some horribly photographed pictures. Like, I could tell they were just photographed just by looking at the brief glances that we got. But he's not satisfied with that answer, so he keeps digging. Ends up finding Belle in a house. She's kind of a shut-in and just like, don't make me leave, don't make me leave. Meanwhile, in the Enchanted Forest, we come to find out that the curse is slowly eating away at all of the different fairy tale lands, because the less Emma believes, the more it eats. It's kind of like the nothing in A Never-Ending Story, where the less believers there are, the more it eats up, and the less, fantasy actually, survives. It was a very Never-Ending Story-esque kind of plot device, which, as somebody who loved the Never-Ending Story, was kind of cool to see them kind of give a shout out to that movie inadvertently. So we've got all of this just happening. And the Black Fairy's trying to get Rumple on her side and telling him all this crap about how once she has the ultimate power, she'll be able to bring back the dead, so she can bring back Balefire and they can be this huge, happy family. And Rumple's not really buying into the Kool-Aid and is just like, no, I can't have that. Magic has a price, and I'm tired of paying it, pretty much. And he fucking kills her with her own wand, which breaks the curse, saving everyone else in the Enchanted Forest, because they're pretty much down to the last few feet of safe place to stand. At some point before this, we got to see a dragon and the beanstalk return. Charming and Hook climb the beanstalk to try and get a magic bean. The bean ends up being rotten. It's kind of a silly plot device. I feel like they could have probably done without that, really, and focused more on Emma learning to trust and believe again. The end had a slight twist, which I actually kind of called it. When we started the episode, we actually start with a Enchanted Forest scene with a little girl with a book of fairy tales, guarding the Once Upon a Time book, and her father tells her, go be with your mother. You have to get out of here. I'll hold them off, with the sword and whatever, and his sword of heroes. And at the end of the episode, we see the same little girl reading the end of this current story, um, going to Seattle and asking this person who is her dad, are you Henry Mills? And he's like, yes. And she's like, well, I'm your daughter. And he's like, I don't have a daughter. And she's like, yes, you do. And we need your help, kind of a thing. Interesting twist. I totally called it. I figured that was Henry, who was telling the little girl to guard the book, because of the fact he's the author. And why would there be a copy of that book in the Enchanted Forest, or something like it? Different realm, obviously. So yeah, I'm wondering how the next season's going to go, if they're going to go with a grown-up Henry and a whole new, Heart of the True Believer, saviors, new, if they're going to introduce all new characters or whatnot, because there are rumors that Jennifer Morrison, who plays Emma Swan, might not be returning for season 7. And I think that would be a real bummer, because I love this show and I love the current cast. And I'm wondering if they're just trying to move it forward to give maybe the children of these fairy tale couples a chance to have some playtime or whatnot. But yeah, so rumor has it Jennifer Morrison is not signing another contract. So it'll be interesting to see what happens without the Savior. Are they just running out of ideas to use for her? That I don't know, but I guess we'll see how it plays out next season. For the finale, I'm going to give it a B+. I did have a few problems with little plot devices here and there. Getting Emma to believe again for like the 3rd or 4th time. It feels a little rinse cycle to me. Feels like like they've used it several times before in the past. Henry, of course, always being the heart of the true believer and the author, always knowing that what's true and what's not. So anyways, I'm going to give it a B+. Tell me what you thought of the finale. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it more than me? What was your favorite part? Leave that in the comment section down below. If you'd like to see last week's episode, or episode review, click right there. If you'd like to see my review on Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, click right there. And also my Harry Potter theory on whether or not Dumbledore fixed Hagrid's wand right here. And as always, I will see you next time. Later, oncers.